Of evidence for you is to demonstrate that within Papius's writings he gives the exclusive statement that it's not a narratives gospel. That's my first point.
Good.
The second point is the possible account of why we would say that he's saying that the actions and sayings of Mark is being recorded within his gospel.
Right.
Is because he's collecting from eyewitnesses.
That's your assumption. So you have to you see, as the brother said, you have to prove from the Papius paradigm.
No, I don't.
You have to.
No, I don't.
Because what you're doing is arguing from silence. What you're doing is arguing from silence.
That's not correct at all. Nope.
I think you know this. I think you know this, Thomas.
Because we are saying that you're posing within your hypothesis, within your reading of Papius.
No, I'm going by the parent text.
That he intends to give an exclusive statement of what Papius means when he says that it's a sayings gospel.
Okay.
Now, I'm saying that because you're not justifying your reading of the text,
right.
If I can posit an alternative, that just being that there's a different type of gospel being written within Matthew and Mark being a contemporary and Matthew being an eyewitness, then we can understand that he's just going to say it's a sayings gospel, although it concludes.
So why does Papius make the distinction between the contents?
No,
why does Papius make the distinction? Can you let me complete? I can even get Papius' statement from Eusebius.
Okay,
do you want me to bring it? Do you want me to bring it?
Go ahead.
Yeah?
Go ahead.
Yeah? Do you want me to bring it? Because okay, you're going to have to argue. Wait, hang on. You're going to have to argue that the contents of Mark and Matthew is identical.
No.
Yes, that's what you have to argue. That's what you have to argue. That's what you're going to have to argue. Okay, thank you. Barakallahu feek. Okay. Let's go to the main part here.
So I like this. I'm going to talk about Quran preservation in a second. This is going to be great. Can't wait to bring this up.
Hey bro, but if they can't prove it, just move on.
Yeah, exactly.
Move on to the Quran.
Well, because there's no two notions that would contradict.
Okay,
within
this is what the elder used to say. When Mark was the interpreter or translator of Peter, he wrote down accurately everything that he recorded of the Lord's words and deeds, but not in order, for he neither heard the Lord nor accompanied him. But later, as I indicated, he accompanied Peter, who used to adapt his teachings for the needs at hand, not arranging, as it were, an orderly composition of the Lord's sayings. And so Mark,
notice what you just said there.
right? And so wait 1 second. And so Mark did nothing wrong by writing some of the matters as he remembered them, for he was intent on just one purpose: not to leave out anything that he heard or to include any falsehood among them.
Okay, notice what you just said there. That besides from John and Matthew, which were eyewitnesses, his compilation of the text came from other people that knew Christ, and that's why he's outlining a distinction. Not that they don't contain the same contents, but rather the composition is different.
Okay, so first of all, that's about John, which Papius, we don't have any surviving fragments regarding what he said about the Gospel of John.
Okay.
So he's only talking about Mark and Matthew.
Yes.
So you're it's got nothing. It's not correlated.
Yes, it is.
The second point. No, it's not. Second point. Second point. Second. Let me complete. Second point. Second point. Second point. It's a good thing. Second point. Who are the elders?
The elders would be with the elders of the church.
Who? Name one.
Well, you don't need to name them.
Why? Why not?
Because the elders of the church are just referring to the people within the church.
Who are they?
Like, for example, in Revelation 5:8, when it talks about the elders in heaven.
Name them. Name them. That transmits back to Peter.
How do we know that?
How
do we know?
Why would we need that?
Oh, right. Oh, wait, hang on. So I can get a statement from a group of 20 men, and that's it. You're going to believe in it? You're going to believe in that transmission?
No, it's just that he's just saying that the means to which Mark is receiving.
Why did Papius inquire about the elders?
Why are you interrupting him?
Why does Papius inquire about the elders?
So does that mean that I can interrupt you now?
Okay.
Why does Papius inquire about the elders?
If you understand the patristic language,
yes.
elders is just referring to the people within the church, like the hierarchy of
I'm not arguing about that.
No, you're not. But I'm just saying that the reason why he's talking about the elders is because he's saying the means to which Mark receives.
And who are the elders? And give me the names.
You're interrupting me. David, now interrupt him.
Interestingly, to interrupt him, so never trust Muslims when they copy things into notes, because they're liars. What you should do instead is actually appeal to actual real source text. So, interestingly here, when it talks about Mark, this is in Papius writing, it says here, a tradition regarding Mark, who wrote the Gospels, which he, Papius, has given in the following words. And it says here that the presbyter spoke, so it says here, it was not, however, in the exact order that he had related the sayings or the deeds of Christ. So it's not.
That's Mark.
You
don't even know what you're talking about. You don't even know what you're talking about.
In Mark, it's either or. So it doesn't mean both ends. So if you're insisting that Matthew has to be a both and an and, in the writings of Papius, with Mark, it's an either or.
So
you're wrong.
Right. So does Papius? I know you're hurt. David. So the point is this. The point is no. The
We
point is
answered
this.
you, now it's
No,
my
the
turn.
point is this. Who are the
With
elders?
your
Give me
hadith
the
science,
transmission.
you have your
Give me the
supposed
names of the
methodologies
No, no, no.
by
One
which
second. One
Notice how
second.
you just now moved, right?
Exactly.
So
No,
firstly,
I haven't
you
moved.
initially-
You're the one that brought your
No,
elders.
you
I
just
didn't.
moved.
You're the one that brought your elders. I
No,
didn't.
applying. So
Right.
initially,
Right.
you critiqued Papius's interpretation of what the Gospels are.
I don't care.
Now
Wait,
you're
wait.
moving on to
Right.
the Hadith science of being applied
That's him.
to Mark
Wait,
and Matthew.
wait, hang
No,
on.
it's not.
You brought up. Wait, one second. He did. I didn't. You brought up. You brought up. Sorry,
wants
one
to say
second.
something.
You brought up. Sorry, one second. You brought up about the elders. I didn't.
No, I didn't. You asked me a
No,
question
no, no,
about
no,
the
no,
elders.
no, no. You said about the
You
elders.
asked about the
Okay,
elders.
no problem.
You just asked
Okay,
about
fine.
them.
So give me the names of the elders who Papius received from.
I can give you that. Papius was a disciple of John the Beloved.
Prove
That's-
it. Prove it. Prove it.
What do you mean?
Prove it. Because Eusebius, he had the physical book, and he said Papius in his preface does not say that he was an hearer or an eyewitness of the holy
That's a
apostles.
lie. That's a lie. That's a lie.
Now read it.
We went
Read
through
Eusebius,
we
page
went through
101.
we went
Can you
through
read it? Can you read
We
it?
went through
He
this
corrects
already.
Irenaeus. He corrects Irenaeus.
That's a lie.
Okay, I'll prove it to you.
Wait,
I'll
no,
prove
go
it to
go
you.
his notes and read it wrong.
I'll prove it to you.
Wait.
Okay, thank you.
Oh yeah, but finding the notes, not the
Because
actual
what
source text.
Eusebius does, Eusebius corrects Irenaeus. Because Irenaeus is only testifying.
wrong.
Wait, 1 second. Because Irenaeus is only testifying what he heard from the
That's wrong.
Asiatic churches.
That's wrong.
He mentioned that against heresies.
That's wrong.
So he doesn't have a direct transmission.
I have the
Okay, prove it,
claims to
prove it,
be
prove it.
From Polycarp.
Prove it.
In fact, the only source that says that Polycarp, John, and Irenaeus are in a chain is Irenaeus himself. That's the common critique.
So why does Irenaeus go by what he heard from the Asiatic churches?
Show me.
He says it. Oh my goodness me. Can you bring it up, please? Can you bring it up? Can you bring it up? He hasn't read it. He hasn't read it. He hasn't read it. Can you bring it up? Can you bring it up? Can you bring it up? Thank you.
You know what? You know what? Tanking. You know.
Oh, Azir, mashallah. Assalamu alaikum. Mubarak. Alhamdulillah.
You know what?
Oh, no, please bring it. Please bring it.
Do you
Please
know
bring
what?
it.
Do you know what tanking a source is?
You
know within academic literature, tanking.
Please bring it.
Where does it say?
Eusebius.
No, you said Irenaeus says he got it from the Church of Asia.
Yeah, he'll bring it. He'll bring
No,
it.
you said
He'll,
Irenaeus.
Damn,
he'll
so
bring
you're the
it. He'll
way
bring it. No problem.
Okay, here's the quote. Where does it?
He'll bring it. No problem.
So your claim was that he only received his
Try and find it,
information.
man.
He only
Keep trying.
testified what the Asiatic
Okay.
churches said.
So he only received his information from that church.
Yes.
So why would he use the church, not Polycarp,
Yes.
who had direct
Exactly.
access?
That's the question. So we're going to bring the
Within
evidence.
liberal scholarship
Right.
and common critique
Right.
of
Right.
Irenaeus
Right.
is that Irenaeus is the only one that claims succession.
You're only
from
appealing to
Polycarp.
tradition, but the transmission doesn't
No,
suggest so.
Polycarp himself within his book against
So why doesn't
heresies,
Polycarp quote anything from the Gospel of John then?
does he need to?
Yes, he does. Imagine, you're the
within
student
book
of John the
3,
Apostle,
because
and he doesn't
within
quote
book
anything from the
3,
Gospel of John.
Because within book 3, chapter 1,
Wow.
he actually says
Goodness
that within
me.
the bosom, John is receiving revelation
Yes.
and writes his gospel.
Yes.
So why?
So
is it,
we'll bring
why
the
is
testify
it-
the
why
Asiatic
is it
churches.
that Irenaeus claims a succession from Polycarp, and that he actually affirms
We'll see.
the
We'll
writings
see.
of John.
We'll see. We'll see.
you're
We'll
gonna
bring the
give
evidence.
me-
Now he's stuck.
So I'm going to tank you.
No, he's bringing the
I'm going
evidence.
to tank
Don't
your
worry.
source that
Don't worry.
stipulates that he only
Right.
received his information
Right,
from this
right.
church.
And
Okay,
after that,
no problem.
we're going to talk about Hadith science.
No problem.
And how it's a load of baloney.
Okay.
Well, we are indeed.
1 second. 1 second. 1 second.
I want the statement that he only.
So, brothers and sisters, what we're discussing about is the church tradition of the Gospels of Matthew, the Gospels of Mark and Matthew, which they received from Papius through Eusebius's work. Okay, and Papius described that that Peter's scribe was John Mark, and he wrote everything what Peter remembers of the sayings or actions, okay, of the Lord. Okay, so that's the point. Papius describes the Matthew is the sayings of Jesus, and it's in Hebrew or Aramaic. That's where they get the traditional authorship of Mark and Matthew. And if you have Mark and Matthew, you compare what Papius is describing, it's not matching. So the Gospel of Mark and Matthew that they are relying today is not the same Gospels that Papius is describing Mark and Matthew. It's a different version.
What is this whole letter?
Oh, that's
That's the point. So what they're relying on from the church about the description of Mark and Matthew is not mirroring what they have today.
no.
That's the point.
Over here, the illustrious disciple of the apostle who leaned upon.
Damn, I thought you guys knew something. You're still trying to find it. Keep going. You'll find it one
So
day.
again, I want to reinforce that the tanking of what we're going to read from you is that he only receives his information from the church, not that he receives information from the church.
Muslims make arguments for exclusivity when there is none to be made. They can't read, and as a result, when it comes to interpreting text, whenever they read something in isolation, they therefore espouse that it means only this particular possibility is the case. Now, if I apply this to the Quran, for example, when Allah calls himself in one ayah the All-Merciful, then in the other ayah the Almighty, if I was reading this like a Muslim, I would assume, wait a second, over there he's the All-Merciful, but over here he's the Almighty. That means that he's only one at a time. But no, two things can be true of one thing at different times. So it doesn't have to be a either or, but it can be a both and. Simple as that.
Just as only.
Yes, something only. There would be no exclusivity. You guys need to read better. It's that simple. Now, Hadith science, while we're waiting. So, you guys claim that you have a capacity by which you're able to faithfully transmit words and sayings from your prophet that apparently come from God. Now, I need proof that when, even if I grant you...
Thank you very much.
There we go.
Thank you, Jazakallah khair.
And the one
But
only
Papius himself,
All right.
this is from Eusebius, the History of the Church.
Great.
But Papius, 3.19, page 101, History of the Church. But Papius himself, in the preface to his discourses, by no means declares that he was himself a hearer and eyewitness of the holy apostles. But he shows by the words which he uses that he received the doctrines of the faith from those who were their friends. So what is Papius doing? What is Eusebius saying? Eusebius is saying that he had an actual work of Papius, which literally says in the preface that he himself testifies that he was not a hearer or an eyewitness to the apostles, and he's correcting Irenaeus. Thank you. Thank you. Now please bring evidence. Please bring evidence. Ask him that. Ask him that question.
So,
There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Finish. Finish.
We give evidence. If in the preface it's not mentioned, we have evidence here.
I think the matter is clear. I think the matter is clear. Now I'm going to bring the Asiatic churches. I'll bring the Asiatic churches, yeah?
Just
Don't worry.
because it is mentioned
Don't worry.
in the preface, it does not claim to be a direct eyewitness of the apostles. And we have the elsewhere.
All right.
We have the elsewhere in the fragment of Papius in chapter 9.
So Thomas and David, they failed to provide names of the elders who transmitted from John Mark. They failed to provide. Imagine, oh, you got it from the elders. Who exactly? What names? In our hadith tradition, when it comes to the Quran, we know the names of the transmission. Imagine if I say the Prophet, imagine the Qira'at, it comes from the Sahaba, genuinely, and we don't provide any names who transmitted it. You would say, why should I accept it? Right? So yes, you did. If I say, okay, the Prophet, okay, wait, no, this is my argument now. So listen, no, I'm gonna make a closing statement here. So look at them. When they critique about the Quranic transmission, and if we were to make the claim that the Prophet, that the Quran that we have today is transmitted via the Sahaba, via the companions, do you know what their natural question would be? Give me the names, each and every transmitter. You're not going to accept the companions. So I'm going to hold the same standard to him, that when Papius said he received from the elders, does he name the elders that is transmitted, that goes back to John Mark? The answer is no. That's it.
You read that, and at the same time, Papius, the bishop,
Yes.
let me, okay?
Yes.
So you said that Papius never claimed to be a hearer of the
You're going by
disciples.
Irenaeus.
Huh?
You're going by Irenaeus.
No, this is
just talking about
Eusebius. This is Eusebius.
Yeah, and by the way,
Okay?
your quote from Eusebius is talking about.
I don't think you've, with all due respect, I don't think you've read ecclesiastical history, because you know what Eusebius mentioned? There were two Johns, two different Johns. John the Apostle and John the Elder, John the Ephesus.
Yes.
So he's correcting Irenaeus. It's not going to support your case.
No, it's
No,
not.
no.
Okay, it's not going to support your case. Yeah. So the point is,
the apostle
right.
dwelt in
Yes.
Hierapolis with his daughters, already stated, but it must be noted here that Papius, their contemporary.
Yes.
So Papius is a contemporary of Philip.
I read in the light of what he said in the beginning.
Because he
What
says
did he
that-
say?
No, no,
you
What did
can't
he say?
cherry-pick
What is
the
no, I ain't cherry picking.
No.
It says
He
very
says that
clearly
within the
that Papius
preface.
himself in his
So
preface.
external
I know.
attestation.
I'm going to drop it because they got some comprehension issues.
Do you believe
Now I'm going to bring
the subtitle,
now,
for example,
now,
the Gospel according to Mark? Do you
right,
think that's
right,
reliable?
right. No, it's not reliable.
Okay, good. So the prefix,
So,
which is external
he's
from the
saying in
actual
the
words
preface.
Right.
of that, do you
Okay.
believe that
So,
that's
for
not
example-
equally reliable?
For example,
So Irenaeus,
let me
hang
just say one thing.
on. Okay, go on then.
If I say the Quran does not mention Jesus in Surah 1, does that mean the Quran does not mention Jesus at all? No, it just means it doesn't mention him in Surah 1.
That's a false equivocation.
Yeah.
That's a false equivocation.
Well, no,
No,
That's a false. That's a false equivocation.
Eyewitness.
Well, no,
Okay.
that's just within the
So-
prefix.
so
So, for
You
example,
cannot. No, you cannot.
says-
You can, no, it doesn't say.
Wait. We're not making an argument from silence.
Exactly.
No, no,
They're making argument
you're
from
making
silence.
an
We're not.
can we actually control formally this discussion? So the word that he quoted from is saying that within the prefix he never claims to be a contemporary of the apostles.
Preface.
My apologies.
Not prefix.
Now, do you agree that the prefix of the gospel, so for example,
Right.
the subtitles,
Right.
the gospel according to Matthew, do you believe that's reliable?
Oh, I know his argument. No, of course
Okay,
not. Of
you
course
don't.
not.
So
No,
why
no.
would you equally then say
Very
that
good.
the prefix and also the external attestations of his works
Excellent question.
is true?
Excellent question. Because that is the proof that you go by. This is not my proof.
not the proof.
Yes, because my argument is Papius. It cannot be relied.
Okay, so do you know what you've
But
just committed?
hang on.
You've
No.
committed the
1 second.
fallacy
1
of-
second.
you've
You're
committed
using
the
1
fallacy
second.
of composition.
Okay,
You're
no
just saying
problem.
that
No
because
problem. I'll let you speak.
Papius
I'll let
is
you
wrong
speak.
in this way,
Okay.
he's wrong in his totality.
Good.
By the way, you understand that the church?
Do you know Richard Balcom?
No.
Richard Balcom himself, who he himself engaged with Bart Ehrman, and he actively wrote a book to refute Bart Ehrman. Do you know what he said about the Gospel of Matthew that Papius mentioned? Papius made a mistake, and he's a Christian. So you're asking me a question as a Muslim. You have a Christian. You have a Christian. You have a Christian. You have a Christian. Wait. You have a Christian. You have a Christian that relies on Papius' testimony, and he admits that Papius made a mistake
And
about
why
the
did he
Gospel of
make a
Matthew.
mistake
No.
about-
The
Why
question.
did he make a mistake
Are you
about-
all right? Calm down.
So
Calm
again,
down, sir.
I'm all
Calm
right.
down.
I
No,
just
your
want-
voice doesn't
I
suggest
want
so.
you to
Calm down.
formalize your
Now, my
critique.
point is.
Can I-
Now, right.
can I
Wait.
enable
1
you
second.
to formalize
Now,
your
Allah says in the Quran, "Hatu burhanukum in kuntum sadiqin." Produce your proof if you're speaking the truth. Now, what is your proof? Is it the Quran? No. Your proof is the Bible. Your proof is the church tradition. I'm only using your proof to substantiate. I'm using your proof
Yeah.
to show that what Papius is speaking is baseless, and you got nothing to
So
hold
do you know
upon.
what you've just committed there?
What did I commit?
You've committed the fallacy of composition. To then just contest, and again, let's just assume that your critique on Papius is correct.
Okay.
To then just assume.
Did I say Papius is correct? I'm saying you
Incorrect.
believe Papius is correct.
Incorrect.
You believe Papius
No,
is
but what
correct.
does
Do you
that
believe
mean?
Papius is correct?
Of course.
Right. So I don't
I
believe.
believe-
I don't care.
You were going to interrupt me?
Wait. 1 second.
No.
1 second.
You've just spoken for 5
No.
minutes. And now me to respond.
Thomas.
You keep on speaking over me. So next time you speak, I'll
No,
speak over
composition
you.
fallacy.
No.
Forget about that. My
No,
question
that's
is:
what you've just
did I
committed.
ever say?
You've just
Did
committed
I?
that.
Did I ever?
You've just
wait,
committed the
Thomas.
fallacy of
Thomas.
composition.
Did I ever say?
So-
Did I ever say that I
so-
rely on Papius' testimony?
No.
You do. I don't.
do.
I'm critiquing
but
Papius'
do
testimony.
I believe that Papius is infallible? No, I don't.
Oh,
But
goodness
does this
me.
then suggest that the
Okay.
reason where in areas of Papius that I'm referring to,
Okay.
he is correct or not, to then just appeal to areas where he isn't is the
Okay.
fallacy of composition. Just to pick out within his corpus of writings that he's wrong
Right.
does not mean that he's wrong everywhere within the holistic.
Also,
reading
you're
of his text.
concede. So you're concede that Papius made a mistake
No,
about
I'm
the Gospel of
just
Matthew.
saying
No,
that.
because you said that
I'm
I made a
saying-
composite fallacy composition.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
Formalize-
So are you? Wait, hang on. So are you saying that Papius' testimony is correct?
No, I'm
No,
saying.
no. Answer the question. Do you believe Papius' testimony about Mark and Matthew is accurate and correct?
Yes. So.
Yes, he's
I
answered.
am-
Can you answer?
No, 1 second.
Can you answer?
So my critique
Is
of
yes or
your
no?
argument-
Is yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm
Okay.
gonna say
Now
yes.
explain to me. Explain
No,
to me.
no,
Explain to me.
don't-
Wait.
don't
Hang
run,
on.
don't run.
Now,
Don't run.
now, ask me the
My friend,
question.
allow me
Now,
to
ask me the
respond.
question.
So,
Do I believe
what
in
you've
Papius'
just
testimony?
committed is the fallacy.
As a Muslim.
You want to interrupt him? Okay. You
As a
allow
Muslim.
me to respond
As a
very
Muslim.
quickly. Okay. So let's just say that we formalize.
Oh no, I'm going to end soon. I'm going to end 2
Let's
minutes.
just say we formalize your critique.
Okay.
So point 1, Papius, in claiming that he was a contemporary of.
Where
the
does Papius
apostles-
claim he was a
1 second,
contemporary?
1 second. So okay, point 1.
No, I'm going to stop every place where you made it wrong. No. I'm going to stop every place he's got it wrong.
So, point 1. The claim that Papius.
critiquing.
That's critiquing. You like critique? I'm critiquing. Now,
So point 1.
Go on, point 1.
Interesting.
Go on.
Point 1.
Go
the
on.
claim
yes.
that Papius is a contemporary
Yes.
of the apostles
Yes.
is incorrect. That's your point 1.
No, is that what you believe?
No, that's your critique.
You're the
That-
one making
I'm
the
about to
claim, not
prove.
him.
I'm about to prove
Okay.
that your critique commits the fallacy of composition.
Right. So my critique is that what Papius is describing the Gospel of Mark and Matthew
Yeah.
does not mirror what you have today, and therefore what you're relying on for traditional authorship is baseless.
Wait, so you're going back to the initial critique. Wait, so you're going back to the initial critique that he is positing a sayings gospel and not a narrative gospel. Okay, where within Papius' writings?
Do you see?
does
Am
he
I the
negate-
only person who argues about this? You have scholars who argues that the Gospel of
Okay,
Matthew that Papius is
demonstrate-
describing is not in line with Matthew day of today.
Demonstrate within-
Now.
Demonstrate.
Right.
You keep on controlling
I'm
the discussion.
gonna demonstrate.
So demonstrate
Okay.
that Papius negates the possibility that within Matthew's corpus of writings
what-
it includes narratives.
Right. Okay. So, when it comes to the Gospel of Mark,
Yeah.
that Papius described
He
that
says
this.
or. He does not say and. He
Are you-
says
are you
that.
gonna let me complete?
No, you keep on interrupting me, so I'm
Are you gonna
reciprocating the courtesy that you gave me.
Okay, but I'm going to critique every point that you make. So the
Yes,
point
he
is,
says all.
right? The point is, John Mark. You believe John Mark wrote everything what Peter remembers of the sayings or actions of the Lord,
Yes.
right? Okay. Now, do you believe that Peter was a first-hand eyewitness
Yes.
of Jesus? So he doesn't need to rely on hearsay.
Correct.
Now, if you open Gospel of Mark chapter 1 that you have today,
Yeah.
was Peter present at the baptism of Jesus?
No.
So how could he? So this is not a first-hand eyewitness.
Does Peter know John?
Okay, let's open up. Let's
don't think
let's
you
open.
understand
No,
what
no, no.
eyewitness
Let's open up.
accounts
Let's open
are.
up.
I don't
Let's open up. Let's
I
open
don't
up.
think you know
Let's
what
open up.
eyewitness accounts
Let's
are.
open up. Let's
Wait,
open up.
one second.
Let's open up.
So
Mark
I don't think
chapter
you
1.
actually understand how eyewitness accounts work. So firstly,
One
Peter
second.
is in
Right.
the living memory.
in court. It's a recorder in court.
Right,
The
right,
eyewitness is
right.
the thing that
So-
happened when they write it down.
Right.
Because Peter knows John,
Right.
he's of course going to know events of his birth.
That's not what John Mark says. John Mark
Okay.
says that he wrote everything what Peter remembers of the sayings or actions of the Lord. And
Yes,
I asked,
and he knew actions of the Lord from speaking to other
Right.
witnesses
So I asked-
of the action
Right, so I asked you, is Peter a first-hand eyewitness testimony?
of Christ. Yes,
So does he need to rely on hearsay?
he needs to rely on, for example, when it's talking about the birth of Christ and John,
And
the
the-
people that were witnessing
Wait,
that.
hang on. Does the virgin birth mention the Gospel of Mark?
No.
No, so that point is
I'm
regardless.
giving you
No.
examples.
So,
So, for example,
no.
Actually,
No.
Andrew,
No.
the brother of
One
Peter, was
second.
around.
All right, take the mic off. Take the mic off. It's fine. No problem. Yeah? No problem.
Get out of the
Take the
rain.
mic off.
And end it then. That's absolutely
So
not true.
Take the mic off. No. It's for
damaging your
them.
cameras and everything. Get out
I'm
of the rain.
gonna carry on speaking for you for like 2 minutes and I'm
So,
gonna go.
are you gonna not interrupt me when I speak?
Yes.
You were giving me a false dichotomy firstly. That's fine.
Okay. Right. Okay. So you believe that?
Take it out of the rain.
So you believe that this was wrong? This is
He doesn't want to go. I don't know why. He doesn't care. Man.
Move out the way, the shade is coming. Right. What shall I give you half, brother? You're coughing. You have a gouty